Well, mahalo as we look at OKO Punch Counter number 6. Like number 5, the beginning is the same. So once again, it's going to be a right punch from our 12 o'clock, our green zone. Left leg slightly forward, hands in the ready position. What we call point of origin. As the punch comes in, either stepping slightly forward to close the distance, or stepping back, depending on their size. In my particular case here, I'm going to step in, brush block, block, grab. I'm going to pass through, baseball bat. Control release with the right hand for the slice. Re-grab the head. I'm going to knee, and as I knee, I'm going to control release as I push and pull him in. My right hand is going to come up and snake around the front of his body, creating the V to create a strangulation. It's a strangulation because his airway is open. The front of his throat is going to be in the crook of my arm, which means that my bicep and my forearm are going to be pressing on the sides of his neck, causing a lack of blood flow to the brain, a strangulation, not a choke. As I do so, then I can step back with my left foot to put him down to the ground. I'm going to pull his weight with me to modify his height, his width, and his depth. And I'm going to control release. My right hand is still on top of his head to drive him down into the ground. Right knee is going to close kneel to pinch him to the ground. Follow up strikes. Add a little stompy, and cross and cover up. With that, this has been OKO Punch Counter number 6. Stay tuned for concepts and principles. Welcome back as we look at Punch Counter number 6. Once again, we've got the double tap at the very beginning. As he comes in with that right punch with his left foot forward, we have the double tap. Once again, shocking our opponent a little bit, allowing us then to control. We've got the pass through with a grab to the wrist and modifying our opponent's height and width at the same time. We could go to the baseball grip. From the baseball grip, I can choose if I haven't manipulated his height and his width enough. Once I've got that baseball grip, I can do what we call a stutter step. I can bring him along with me, shimmy a little bit to keep him off balance before I go into the next section. That is true in almost any of our techniques in which we have control of the arm, especially while we are still standing. We have the option to shimmy and to move around, either to press into him or to pull out. So once we've got that baseball grip, once again, I'm going to control release. I'm going to purposely let go to contour up his arm, as we did in number 5. Once again, if I have the stick, brush block, block, grab, pass through, baseball grip, control release with the right, contour up, and I'm going to push and pull at the same time like we did in number 5 to the strike. From here, I'm going to rake through. And there's nothing saying that you can't use bits of number 5 and number 6 at the same time. Who's to say that I couldn't strike to the side of the neck and continue to open my hand and then slice across the eyes, turning the head? Nothing saying that you can't. Strike. I'm going to grab the head. I'm going to shift weight. Now I'm going to borrow balance. Once again, a push-pull for the knee to the face to soften him up, to get him ready. So number 1, sliced, grabbed. I'm going to shift weight, borrow his balance for the knee, and now as I want to control him, I'm going to control release with my left hand. Now that I have behind his neck near his shoulder, and I'm going to bring it up. Once again, in this particular motion, as I have control of his head and I bring my arm up, we see the V that is created with my arm. Now once again, his Adam's apple, his main portion of his throat, is going to be in the crook of my arm. It's going to be in the crook of my arm. So we're not choking the airflow into his lungs. What we're going to be doing is my bicep and my forearm are going to be at his carotid and jugular, doing what is called a strangulation. We're preventing oxygen-rich blood going to the brain, which is going to cause them to pass out. So as I come up, we can actually use it as a strike, and then as I grab and pull in, then it becomes the strangulation. If he still continues, if you still don't knock him out, or maybe you have another opponent you need to get to, my hand is on top of his head. I'm going to step back with my left leg to create distance, right? I need a spot for him to push him, to hit him with the planet. I'm going to rotate. As I do, I'm going to control release with my left hand and drive him to the ground. Once again, introducing that close kneel, where my knee goes into, in this particular case, his back. Back part of his ribs, maybe his kidney or higher, to make sure that he stays on the ground, and follow up striking. So what concepts and principles have we seen here in punch counter number 6? We've got the double tap, we've got the pass through, we have control releasing, we have contouring up the arm, we have the push and the pull, whether it's to the slice across the eyes or push and pull for the knee strike. We have borrowed balance, borrowed force. We reiterate the concept of strangulation versus suffocation, the in-place stance change to allow us to push him down to the ground, and off-weighting to make sure that we can move our opponent. There's been a lot, like I said, in number 5. And I believe in looking at the system, there's going to be more and more of these concepts and principles, new ones introduced for you guys in whether it's punch counters, grab counters, arm locks, the wrist locks. There's tons of good stuff. With that, this has been OKO Punch Counter number 6, looking at concepts and principles. Aloha and mahalo.